before it's time to spin, you've got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. And everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so therefore you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids. So you can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm DJ Mikey Mike. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the Hitman DDub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. Okay, what's up, everybody? I'd like to thank everybody for coming and joining us once again for another episode of Cue It Up, our DJ podcast. And in today's episode is called Crate Minds Think Alike, where we're going to talk about organizing, managing, and backing up your DJ crates and hard drives. So our main goal of our podcast is to inspire DJs of all skill levels by sharing alternative perspectives, creative approaches, and fresh strategies to elevate your skills and move the crowd in your own special way. Meaning, just because we say you should do a certain thing doesn't mean that it'll work for everybody. So we're hoping that we'll inspire you to come and think outside the box. So with that said, let's cue it up and get started with our show. So DJ Mikey Mike, I hear that you had a few gigs.
Hello.
Yep.
It was actually the one gig, graduation part, dental school, preschool, and turned out to be a great gig. The attendance wasn't that much, you know. A lot of people are leaving, go back home, and
you're going in and out.
And oh boy, I don't know what's art is having a tough time. It's something that even our team was going on. I'm like, what the heck? Am I okay? Or
no, yeah, you going in and out.
In and out. Okay, I might be having my internet. I switch over to my other.
Yeah, because I can take over until you get it fixed.
Please, it's here what it says it's secure, but for some reason, even he's been going up and on, freezing up. So we had some storm through the other, and I don't know if it affected our internet. We had fiber optics. Who knows?
All right, so I could take over because that's what I thought I was praying that it didn't happen to us because we had some terrible storms today and yesterday too.
Yes, I mean, totally terrible. It was unbelievable.
And I'm glad. So, Buddy has said your sound is good. Mike has some lagging, so I'm glad that we're not echoing like we did last week, because I didn't even hear it until after I went and listened to the video and saw that we had a bunch of echoing. So we have DJ Cool Thing in the building so far. We have Buddy from TBM Productions, and we have Kevin from DJ K Productions. So I had a gig this weekend. And then I had one a few weeks ago. I just didn't talk about it. And I got a chance. Last week we had talked about building crates using a formula to help you find the songs that will fit nicely for your event. So I tried it out. I wanted to make sure, see how exactly it will work for me. And let's review how to go about picking certain songs for your event. All right, so here's our chart that we used last week. And you have different parts of an event. You have the opening or arrival part of the event. If you're doing like a wedding or a special corporate event, you might have cocktail hour. Then you might have a dinner time of the event. And then you have your main open dance set and also your banger set that you'll play during open dance. And all the way to the right, there are some descriptions for each part of the night. Like for the opening night, you want to have like chilled vibes, something smooth for the arrival, and something that's going to warm the crowd up to get them to dance. You don't want to come out right out the gate and hit a bunch of bangers. You want to play something that's popular that they know that'll get their heads bobbing. And then for like cocktail and dinner, you want to stick with some laid back music. You don't want them to do a lot of moving and bouncing around while they're trying to eat. And you just want to be background music to give them a chance to socialize with each other. And then when you get to your dance set, now that's where you throw the bangers and be more rhythmic with the songs that you play and try to play more of the popular songs mixed in with some classics and some even new songs to try to see how the crowd is going to receive it. So I created an opening set. So I was just looking for something that's laid back, familiar, that kind of like get the people in the mood of the night. So my banger list, let me pull my playlist up. It was an R&B event. The client wanted R&B, soul, old school songs, and hip hop, and then some line dancing. And so for my opening set, these are the songs that I played. I always start off with, when I first start, I usually start off with a pre-made mix. And I try to find a mix of my own. So therefore, you can kind of like get a vibe of what kind of DJ I am. And also it has my my DJ drops in there. So you can kind of like, it's almost like I'm introducing myself to my guests. But this night, I just picked up a Motown mini mix. And this comes from Piss Break Kings. And they're good for having a bunch of mixes within a certain style that's like for 15, 20 minutes long. Or if you need to put a mix on and you have to run to the bathroom, you can throw that on to skip to the bathroom and come on back. But I started off with that. And then since we're dealing with Motown songs, my first song that I started off mixing was Strawberry Letter 23 by the Brothers Johnson. Then it went into Don't Look Any Further by Dennis Edwards and Sahida Garrett. Then I went into Ain't Nobody by Chaka Khan. I Wish by Stevie Wonder. And those kind of like was the old throwback songs that kind of like would fit into that Motown sound. But then I started to still pick old songs, but pick songs that was heavily sampled and songs that you will hear today. Like Casey and the Sunshine Band, I Get Lifted, and that was that doom 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 dun doom doom. So that went over well. Slave, Just a Touch of Love, Tom Tom Club, Genius of Love, which was sampled in Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso song. And then I did Von Mason and Crew, Bounce, Rock, Skate, Roll. That's an old classic R&B throwback jam that seems like it's timeless. Then I started to move more into the newer songs. So I went to the 90s and did Heavy D and the Boys, more bounce because it still had that same kind of vibe as bounce, rock, skate, and roll. And then I hit them with a mashup. Poison versus Never Too Much, which was a Kelvin Harris and Dua Lipa song, and a Luther Vandross song that went over real well with my audience.
Yeah, but Luther's great.
And then if you can see on the screen, it shows me, even I had a chance to get out on the dance floor. And that's where coming in and learning some line dances helped a lot, because a lot of people put down line dances, but they only know the same 2 or 3 line dances: Cupid Shuffle, Wobble, Cha-Cha Slide. But they don't know any of the other dances, or they want to do some of the newer dances but don't know how to do it. And I'm glad that I actually took some line dancing classes and was able to get out there and show them how to do the steps. And that went over real well as far as breaking down the ice and everybody warming up to each other. So that was a good touch for me. So you got your things back together.
Coming across, I switched over to my other internet, and I'm hopefully doing a little better. Is it still cutting in and out or no?
Your audio is good, but sometimes when you move, it's glitchy. It gets blurred.
Okay, let me. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back over here to yes, and just check my filters on. Okay, that. Nope.
So while we wait for DJ Mikey Mike, let's go to the chat. What kind of things do you do to interact with your crowd? Do you do anything interesting? Oh yeah, Kelvin had mentioned about the echo. He said he loved an echo. It feels like it's karaoke. And then he says, I played with it, pinch interesting progs. Now your video looks real clear now.
My video is clear?
Yep.
Okay.
No,
cool.
now it's not.
No, what the heck is going on here tonight? I'm totally baffled because the internet has been glitchy all day. The TV has been glitchy all day today. I'm hoping everything's fine tonight. I'm watching the video over here. I test my internet speed on my Mac, and it's like blazing speed, but I don't want to have to log out, log back on. But I'm gonna try a couple things in OBS.
Because it's looking clear like right now.
Okay.
Now I don't know what you just touched there. But DJ Cool Thing has said that he gets on the dance floor with his kids at his school dances.
Yes.
I do dance moves to songs at my station. So you're a chair dancer, I'm assuming. Because I can get down sitting in the chair too.
I could see it. I like seeing dancing there, and that's one thing I wish I could do. I can't do that no more on my back, But it's a lot of fun. I used to love to dance, and as long as you're doing it like you're doing it here, very respectful, and that's great. I've been to weddings that I seen a DJ lead the conga line, which I'm like, oh no, wait a second, no. That's for the bride to do. That ain't for the DJ to do. But he did it. He had his sombrero on and everything. So I was like, okay, there he goes. Let him go, let him do his thing. And that's his niche, He had a great time doing it. I love that setup.
And Kevin said he does the YMCA and of course OSU Hang on Sloopy. Yeah, I did that with my older crowd. Because there was an event I did back in January. When I came in, I thought they said they wanted like some pop songs and dance, club songs. But when I got there, I saw a lot of elderly people with canes and walkers. So I'm like, I can't play like club songs for them because they're not going to get up and dance to it. So I had to pivot real quick, and I did a lot of chair dancing kind of songs. Again, you had the Hang On Sloopy with the O-H-I-O. That went over well, especially after Ohio State had just beat I don't think. I'm trying to think. It's the one where they smacked the ball out of the quarterback's hand and took it back. I can't remember if that
Penn
was
State?
in the playoffs or the actual championship. But wherever the big game was at that time, the Ohio State game, that song went over quite well with the crowd. Also, the YMCA was a good one to do with the older crowd that you could do at your seats. And then Shout by the Isley Brothers, where they say a little bit lower
Yeah.
now and they can just stay in the seat and go up and down and all that
There
and
you go.
shout. Hi.
There you go.
Yeah. It was a
Um,
cotton bowl, okay.
Okay.
And then Kevin said, do a party train on occasion. Lead is the party animal to lead the line. Yep. And it was versus Texas in the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
So I'm looking at some of your videos from your gigs. So can you give me the backstory, story of the girl in the wheelchair?
Okay, the girl in the wheelchair. Unfortunately, she was a little pee-wee football cheerleader, and at the age of 12, they're doing their routine. I don't know if it was during halftime or on the sideline, and her routine was at the end she would lay down to the ground, and here one of the other cheerleaders from the same team accidentally kicked her in the head. Um, it's not that she doesn't have feeling, like that she's a paraplegic. She just lost her ability to walk. She has feeling in her legs, she has feeling in her feet, but she just cannot stand. This is when she was 12. You figure now it's how many years later? So she's 23. So 11 years later, there would be muscle atrophy. And as you could see in her dress, that she has no muscle atrophy in her legs. And I did question the one dental student, which I know, and she told me, she says, no, she was Mike, she has complete feeling in her legs, just as that she lost her ability to walk. She could lift them slightly, but she can't lift them like you or I can lift them. So that night, she was basically the icebreaker. And it was funny because they didn't give me a playlist. They just checked off a couple genres that they wanted to hear. And the one was EDM, and they even wrote that down. We want to hear a lot of EDM. I'm like, okay, no problem. We got that covered. But and one that was like they put no by was country, disco, no. They wanted to hear the Cupid Shuffle, but no Macarena, no Electric Slide, no YMCA, no oldies. I'm like, okay, no rock and roll, just basically EDM. Well, it started off at night with just a couple songs, like because they were eating dinner, and also I start getting requests, and it's for Casey and the Sunshine Band, it's for the YMCA. So the girl who's running the party, the president, I went up to her and I asked her, I said, listen, I said, I know you specifically want EDM, but you did say take request. What do you want me to do? She says, well, Mike, last year, the president who ran the show, specifically told the DJ what they wanted to hear. And the gig went from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It was only a 3-hour gig. By the time they come in, they eat. Then after they eat, they do like a presentation of awards for the seniors. Like they're basically gag awards. And by the time that's all said and done, you figure like an hour to eat. So it's 8 o'clock. Then at least a half hour for the different gag awards that they're giving out. So you're down to an hour and a half worth of music, if that, because they wanted to talk on the microphone again. The head of the department wanted to thank all the students that they had such a great year. Again, these are pre-dental students. They're going to be going on to dental school. And to see this young lady in the wheelchair doing what she did, I was like, and then thinking, she's moving on to dental school. She's going to be a dentist. God bless her, because I mean, she was the icebreaker that night, and I just kept up with her. She wanted to hear this music. She wanted to hear that music. I did throw a couple EDM songs here and there, but it was because they didn't want. As soon as you threw it on, dance floor clear right off. I'm like, okay, now I don't want to go back to. I don't want to clear the dance floor again. There wasn't that many students there, so whoever was there, I wanted to keep them on the dance floor. I wanted them to have a good time because the year before, the president told me she was by 8:45, 9 o'clock, they were all gone. There's like 3 or 4 students left. So I figured out, let them have fun, let me play the request, and let them enjoy themselves. But again, I just want to go back to that young lady in the wheelchair. God bless her. She she was the first one on the dance floor. She was actually doing wheelies with her wheelchair. She was spinning around. She moved better than me. I can't move too good, but she was moving better than most of the young ladies and most of the guys there. And it was a lot of fun. They enjoyed themselves. The only and it's not, excuse me for 1 second. It's not a downfall, but the Scranton area. I don't care if it's a venue, if it's a restaurant, if it's like it was Marywood University. Every place up there has a stage, and the stages aren't built for a band or a DJ. They're more or less built so the speaker can get up there, speak at the podium. He's overlooking the whole audience. The stages are hollow. I was undecided to bring my subwoofer. If I was going to bring, I would only bring one. I wouldn't bring two. There's no. I guess they were supposed to be about 45 to 50. I guess something happened or whatever, or maybe some kids wanted to take off a little bit early to get back home. So, like I said, it ended up with about 34, 35 students there. But the stage was hollow. And I had my QSCs on default, and it was just like, woo, 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 woo. Like, oh, Lord, I turned the bass right down. I'm like, now wait a second. I put it on live. And when I had it on live, it sounded great because if I left it on default, even cutting the bass out of my mixer and even out of my controller, that floor is hollow, and it just everything was just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, no, this just doesn't sound good. It was just too hollow. But again, that area, Scranton, Old Forge, Taylor, Dunmore, I don't care where you go. It could be a little corner bar up there. They have a stage. The stage might be only 4 foot by 4 foot, but they have a stage, and every stage is hollow. So that's a drawback. DJing up in the Scranton area, a lot of the times they I guess they think by putting the band, the DJ up on the stage, because the professors or whoever, or speakers, whoever are up on a stage, they're overlooking the audience. It draws their attention from the guests to look up at them. For me, or a band that would be playing there, a band would actually die. The drummer would have to be basically on the floor. He would not be able to drum on that stage. There's no possible way. And then the other gigs, one was a 70th birthday party, total surprise party. I've known the lady for approximately 15 to 20 years. She was in total shock. She has 3 children from her first marriage, and all 3 children came in, and they're the one. Well, no, there's 4 children. I'm sorry. The one lives around here, and 3 children live out of town. One lives in Florida. The other one lives in Georgia, and the other one lives in South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. but they all came in and they didn't come around. They were in like 2 days before the party. She had no clue that her kids were in town, nothing. Her husband took her out shopping. The kids came to the house. They did some things like from when they were little. And then, Stephen, the young lady, the 70-year-old, she came in the house and she's like, man, who did this to the house? Who messed this up? Or who did it? Jesus, it reminds me of when my kids were little here. But here it was her kids actually doing it. And she couldn't put two and two together that they might be in town. So everything was a total surprise. So I'm so happy that she had such a great time. She just cried for the first half hour because the happiness, the joy, seeing her children, seeing all her dear close friends coming together to celebrate her 70th birthday meant more to her than anything. It was unbelievable. She's such a great lady. Her name is Debbie. She's just a wonderful lady. She beat cancer. It came back. She beat it a second time. And thank God she's still here with us. She's going. I mean, for 70 years old, she danced her butt off that night, and I'm happy for her. And I love both of those gigs. I love the college students because college students, they're better than I can't say high school students are bad, but they're easier to not get along with, but they're easier to talk to because they know, well, I could play the dirty versions of the song for them. They don't care. The school doesn't care. They're adults, so whatever they want to hear, they'll hear. And it made it easier. I mean, because I did have to play a couple dirty versions of the songs, and I didn't mind it because there were all adults there. So it was a good thing. But again, to that young lady with the wheelchair, God bless her. She was the life of the party the whole night long. So which was great. I'm really, really happy.
Okay, let's get back. Speaking about the girl in the wheelchair, Buddy has said that's sad.
But yes, it is. But you know what? If you spoke to this young lady, if I had a chance to speak to her, meet her, and everything. She took her disability and turned it into an ability. Because you think of a dentist usually is on their feet, and the patient's laying in the chair, and she made this up that she's going to be a dentist, and she's already talking to, I guess, from what they were telling me, she was talking to manufacturers of wheelchair companies to actually make a wheelchair a little bit more elevated for her. Because when you go to the dentist, automatically they drop your head right down. Your head's like 6 inches off the ground only, so the dentist can look in your mouth. So that ain't really gonna be a disadvantage for her because she's in the wheelchair. A dentist doesn't stand; they sit down. So it is an advantage to her. She took her disability and turned it into an ability. My uncle was a paraplegic from the Korean War, and he took his disability and turned it into ability also. But to be facing this from 12 years of age, and well, buddy, I guess you could say it is sad because she has feeling in her legs, and knowing that you have this feeling, somebody pinches you, a bee bites you, you can feel that, but you can't get up and walk. The doctors don't even know what to call it because she has no injury to her spinal cord at all. Nothing at all. All her nerves, everything are intact. The only thing that they can think of is something traumatic happened to her brain that caused her to lose her ability to walk.
Okay, before we go into our next segment, DJ Cool Thing said, your story reminds him of the school dances he DJ where the students want mostly modern hip-hop like Drake, Rich Baby Daddy, or Ice Spice Deli, or Princess Diana. And at one school dance, one student requested Benson Boone "Beautiful Things" over and over again. And then Kevin said, "Play it only once." You got some moves, sir. That was Buddy. Yeah, you have to hear the audio of me actually dancing, because you can hear my wife in the background says up there saying, "I didn't know you knew how to do all that."
That last video was of a wedding I did a little over a month ago,
hmm
and it was a Mrs. and a Mrs.
Which one was
And
that?
that whole
Is that
that
the
whole
one that's the blue? With
up right there, they were dancing.
Because you got to remember, at the same time, we're like on a delay.
Oh yeah,
Because I know there was one that had like a table where it panned, and they had like blue lighting, and they had like gifts on the table. Or was it the one where they were danced? The older couple was dancing on the.
It was an older couple, and then a young girl cut in between them.
Oh, you talking? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was a great wedding. Again, I'll DJ for anybody. I do not discriminate. I do not say, hey, listen, female, or male, male. Love has no boundaries. Love doesn't see color, it doesn't see race, it doesn't see sexuality. Love is something from in the heart. These two young ladies loved each other. They got married, and I was so happy I was their DJ. The one bride was Hispanic, the other bride is Polish, and it was they wanted music from every genre. They covered everything, Mexican music to everything, like from Hispanic. I mean, it could have been Puerto Rican music. I don't know, because I don't know that they were talking in Spanish to me, so I had the other bride interpreting for me, because if the other bride was gone with her friends or her family, the other bride come up and say, Mike, what did they say? And I'm like, I have no idea. So then she would bring up the person who spoke to me, and she would interpret for me. So I was like, okay, now I could get the song for you. But that was such a fun wedding. The only problem I had at that wedding, DJ Cool Thing has the same lights as I do. The one grandmother kept on insisting that the lights were too bright. I had them actually going straight up to the ceiling. So they were reflecting off the ceiling, coming back down. It was just going on the dance floor, which was in a church hall. And no matter what, she complained. I went to the bathroom. I came back out when she had some of my uplights repositioned. So finally, I went to the bathroom again. I came back. I repositioned my uplights. They weren't going right at the gate or anything. Again, they were going up in the air. Again, I went up to the bride's mom, and I said, "Yeah, you got to talk to your mom." I said, "This is your daughter's wedding, and she's basically ruining it on her by moving my lights." I said, "And does she realize that she breaks one of the lights, you're gonna have to pay for it?" She goes, "Mike, I was wondering who was moving your lights." And she said, "I'll take care of the situation right now." I said, "And how about the lights for the dance floor? We have nothing here." So if that video, you really can't see, they were dancing, but they were to the left of me. There was nobody in front of me, because the one bride's grandmother complained about the lights. And I was like, why are you trying to ruin your granddaughter's day? I don't know if she was upset because she married another female, but she complained about everything, from the food to that they had to come back to clean up. You name it, she complained about. I'm like, be happy for your granddaughter. Don't put a burden on her and try to make her day miserable. Like, I don't know. People makes all kind of people make this world go around, and I'm happy to put a smile on somebody's face, and music will put a smile on people's faces, and also will bring back a lot of memories. Some good, some bad, but it will bring back memories, and hopefully they're good memories.
Because I'm looking at some of your video. What kind of wash light do you use? Is to get the
Shop 8 FX
Okay.
And I have them up on a tripod that's built for lights, and it goes up 9 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 6'3". They're up, almost 3 feet above my head, and now they're pointed straight up. They were like this. Say this is the head of the light here, right? So if I had it like this, it'd be going down towards the dance floor. If I had it like this, it'd be dance floor and the guest. But these lights were like this, that were going straight up here. None of the lights were coming down to the dance floor. They were just hitting the ceiling. And the grandmother she just complained.
Remind me of the
I
old
know what
people that used to go to my church, because they were set against having drums in the church. So when I first got there, they'll complain all the time the drums is too loud. And it's like one Sunday I was like, I didn't even play, so what are you talking about? Or we have a big church. You got all this space over here to sit. You'll sit right next to the drums and then complain. I don't understand it.
So, well, I don't. It's not going to get off subject, but doing parties, doing weddings, I don't care what kind of event it is if they're having assigned a seating, I always tell the person who's in charge of putting the seating chart together, please put the younger couples towards me. Put the elderly couples the furthest away from me, because they are the ones who complain. They're the first one who'll say, oh my God, the music's too loud. Oh my God, this. The one party I was doing, it was for a gentleman. His wife planned his 60th birthday, so he has to be about 80 now. And her mother-in-law and her mother sat right by me. And every 2 minutes, Sonny, it's a loud for me. Oh, cheaper. So I turn it down a little bit, turn it down a little bit more. Then I have people come from the back up to me and say, hey, man, I'm missing the music. Can you turn it up a little bit? Turn it up. And I got complaints it's too loud again from these two elderly ladies, which I have respect for. So I turn it back down. And people come from the back and turn it back up. So finally the wife comes up, she goes, Mike, why is the music going up and down? I said, well, I don't know who these elderly ladies are, but they keep on complaining that the music is too loud. I said, even at the level I have it at now, they are a little perturbed about it. She said, oh my God, that's my mother and my mother-in-law. She went over, she unplugged their what do you call it? Their hearing devices, hearing aids.
Okay.
They had their hearing aids in, but what they did, they had them turned all the way up. So, I mean, they were trying to compensate. They thought by turning it up, they could hear each other talk more. Their voices would fade out the music, but no, it didn't. It didn't drown out the music. It didn't fade it out. It just made the music even louder for them,
They were asking about your lights. Are those ape lights or chroma cannons?
They're both like chroma cannons. I love them. A week after I got them, I DJed at an event, and halfway through the event, the one light died on me. I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened. I'm like, all the rest of them are charged up. They all took their full charge. I always charge them up the day before. I don't want to charge them 2-3 days before, and then they're sitting. Charge them up the day before, leave them on the charger to the next morning, unplug them, pack them up in their cases, out the door they go. But go to the gig and the one light dies. I'm like, okay. So I come back home after the gig. I plug the lights back in. I just want to see if that bag of lights were going to take a charge. Well, basically, for a 4-hour gig, they didn't use up much power. So within 20 minutes, they were charged up. I'm like, oh, great. Here, that one light, I put a piece of gaffer's tape on it. It was fully charged. I unplugged it. I turned it on. It lit up for about 35 seconds. Boom, died out. Put it back on the charger. It showed that the battery life was totally out of it. Within 20 minutes, fully charged again. I'm like, oh, okay. Plugged it, unplugged it. Put it back on. 25 to 35 seconds, dead again. So I called up lighting. Rick Webb, I spoke to him personally, and he said, Mike, what's going on? I said, dude, I said, I love your lights. They're great. I said, but I have one that just keeps dying on me. No problem. Boom. Before you have to follow them, I had an RMA email to me, packed it back up in a box, sent it down. Within 3, 4 days, I had a new light. They were boom, Johnny right on the spot. So that was great. I have companies that really respect their warranties. Chauvet, I've never had I can't say I never had a problem with their lights. I did have problems with their lights, but they also had their warranty and their support staff was great. Called them up, okay, no problem. We're gonna say an RMA slip. Sent it to me. I sent the box right back to them. They either fixed or replaced the light. The one light actually broke on me 3 times. So the gentleman I spoke to, he said, just keep the light. We're gonna send you a whole new one. Don't worry about it. It's okay. He said, use that one in case you need it for parts or whatever. I'm like, yeah, fine, no problem. It was the Chauvet Mini Quinta. They were great lights for school dances and stuff like that because the kids love those flashy strobe and lights in different colors booming all around. But it was those two companies. I've never had a problem with them. And another one too is Rockville. I have the Rockville wedges. No problem. I mean, I made a mistake. I ordered the wrong ones. I wanted to order the IR and I ordered the RF, and they shipped them. I got them before I shipped before I even got the other ones back to UPS. The next day, the new lights were here at my house. I'm like, I call them up. I said, listen, I'm getting up to UPS today with the new lights. Oh, that's no problem, Mike. You got 30 days to get them back to us. I said, no. They're coming back because I need these here, So they were happy. I was happy that I got them that quick. And they were happy they were getting the product back again. I opened up one light and I see it was the RF. I'm like, oh, no, I want the IR. So, boom, it was 1, 2, 3 settled. And I was happy. They were happy. And I'm ecstatic with them. I love the Rockville lights. To me, how can I say it? 21 years of DJing, I've never had a client, a guest, a venue manager come up and say, hey, man, what kind of gear are you using? What kind of lights are they? They never questioned me. Never. At a wedding, a party, whatever it could be, a graduation party, whatever, guests are there for one reason. The one reason they're there for, if it's a wedding, if they're there for the couple and they're there to celebrate their new lives being joined together. If it's a graduation party, they're there to celebrate the young man and young ladies graduating from high school, college, whatever. They're not there to be interested if you have Ape Labs or if you have Chroma Cannon or if you have, I don't care what brand lighting you have, what brand of controller you have, what brand mixer you have, what brand speaker you have. They're there for one thing, and it's to attend this party, this wedding, whatever it shall be. They're there for that person or persons. That's it. They're not there. They're not interested in, geez, what tube lights are they? Are they J-Maz? Are they Rockville? Are they, buddy, what's the one that you have, man? They're like $800 a light.
Oh, Astera?
Astera. I mean, I've never got a question about what brand of gear I have. Never in my life. In 21 years of DJing, that's quite a long time. And I went from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, is loose, rich area, gated community. You couldn't get in or out without guards. So I mean, these people had tons and tons of money, and they didn't say, "Hey, Mike, geez, you only have Rockville lights? Oh man, I thought you were gonna have Ape lights." They never questioned me about that. They were happy I was there DJing. They were there celebrating this bride and groom's day together. That's all it was, and that's if you could afford the gear, fine. To me, that's fine. But if you can't afford it, you got to buy the Rockville instead of the Ape Lab. You got to buy the knockout Chinese brand tube lights instead of the Steras. It's whatever you could afford. That's what you do. I don't believe in. It's not a waste of money, but if you could buy something somewhat equivalent to that top brand, do it. That's what I would say. Why would I waste? I know a DJ and he does he buys the top brand lights and very, very rarely DJs, weddings or anything like that. And every year he goes out and buys that big name brand light and he goes in the hole $3,200. And it's like, why? Why are you doing this? You DJ two, maybe three times a year. Yeah, you're in the club every weekend, but you're not bringing any lights with you. You're not. They have their own lights there. So why are you? And he won't sell any of the other lights. I said, I'll buy them off you. You know, I said, I'm so busy. Why don't you come work for me? You charge $600. Listen, I'll give you $800. He's like, oh no, I only work for myself. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, if I was only making $600 for a gig and somebody offered me 800, dude, I'm all over it. If I don't have to do none of the paperwork, I got to do show up, play music, and go home. I'm on that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It's like, boom, I'm there. It's like ketchup on a hot dog or mustard together with a little bit of chili and onions on it.
And let's get to the chat because Kevin made a good point as far as people asking you about what kind of equipment you have. DJ companies will ask if they are looking to add stuff, and that's true. I ran into that. Like the person that me and Kevin is affiliated with, he had asked me on what kind of equipment I have. They want to add. They ask you about transportation, making sure you're reliable and you can travel.
Yes.
And then another person now that I have talked to had asked me about the kind of equipment I have, making sure I have the gear. And then also, if they were to hire me, make sure that I go out and represent the company in a good light. So those, they will ask you about your gear. And therefore, you want
Yes.
to make sure you have good, reliable, dependable gear.
Yes. I mean, if you're working for a multi-op, I mean, if it's only even call you 2, 3 times a year, they want to make sure that you have good gear. They don't want you showing up with lights from merry-go-round and Walmart or wherever, or even from Target. They want to make sure you have, even if it's a Chinese knockout brand, they're still a dependable light. But they don't want somebody coming in with a light from Walmart, and they're like, oh boy, what's this guy up to, But then you're you're working for a multi-op. If you're just basically working for yourself, you set your goals for yourself. I work for myself. I would never work for anybody. I can't say never. If I had to do it, I would. But I just when I started this, I started as DJ Mikey Mike. I have now enough gear to probably have 5 DJs working for me, but it's DJ Mikey Mike's name. They make a mistake, they don't come back looking at that DJ. They look at DJ Mikey Mike. Who gets the bad rap? Or even though I wasn't DJing the event, it might have been DJ Roly Poly, but DJ Mikey Mike, he goes by DJ Mikey Mike when he's there. So, this is DJ Roly Poly working for DJ Mikey Mike Productions. And, the old saying is crap rolls downhill. Exactly. And who's at the bottom of the pile? You're the company owner. You're the one who's going to catch that from the customer. So to hire another DJ, yes, you want to make sure they have the best equipment. and in their budget. I mean, you could have the best equipment. And my old saying is, all that glitters isn't gold. Meaning that you could have the top of the line stuff that doesn't make you a better DJ than somebody that has the off-brand stuff. That person that has the off-brand stuff be a heck of a lot better DJ or MC. The whole thing about DJing, and this goes to young and old DJs that are out there, is your personality. When you walk into a venue, DJs are usually the first there, besides the staff and the venue, where they're setting up and everything. Then more and more staff comes in to do other things. Then some guests start rolling in. Well, by the time before the guests get there, I'm already dressed and ready to. I greet the guest also. I want to go, introduce myself. Hey, I'm the DJ for today. I'm Mikey Mike. Just call me Mike. That's all. If you have any requests, come up, hit me up, man. I'll get it off with you. And then I may even just go get a soda, and somebody will come up to me and ask me, "Hey, man, are you taking requests tonight? You're the DJ, right?" "Yeah, I'm the DJ taking requests." Unfortunately, the bride and groom don't want me to take any requests tonight. And then, if it's a good night, I won't mention anything on the microphone. But if it's a bad night, which I've had, that, a bride only wanted a specific genre of music, and nobody's on the dance floor. Nobody except for the bride and her 5 or 6 friends. Guests were seated. Parents were seated. Family members, they would come up and ask me, "Hey, Mike, can you put the YMCA on?" "Sorry, I can't." "How about the Cupid Shuffle?" "I'm sorry, I can't." I'm like, my hands are tied. The bride and groom paid me. They're my bosses. The bride's mother came up and told me, because they were doing the Polish bridal dance, and she goes, "Mike, put that polka on." I said, "Kim, I'm sorry, I can't." She goes, "I'm her mother, put it on." I said, "Well, here's my contract. If you show me here where you signed this contract, then I'll listen to you. But your name is not here. The only 2 I listen to is Jess and Jeremy. That's it. And she has no polka. That's it." So I got to listen to Jess, who is Kim's daughter. So Kimmy got in an uproar, and she went out on the dance floor and told her, more or less, "We're going to put that Polish bridal dance on." And Jess said, "No, we're not, Mom." Kim comes back to me and she says, "Mike," she said, "No." I said, I told you so." I felt so bad for her because I'm introducing, well, I could say I'm introducing a new song. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a song that the bride picked out. Instead of playing the Polish bridal dance, she chose this other song. So come on out here and dance with our lovely bride, Jessie. Everybody sat in their seat like they were super glued to their seats. So I'm like, oh boy, what am I going to do? All the girl wanted is country. I started the night from the first sign of introduction through the last sign of the night. Even for her ceremony, it was all country. So, now it's getting towards the end of the night, the bridal dance, the Polish bridal dance, usually towards the end of the night. I said, as you can see, nobody's dancing. I said, "How about if I put Chicken Fried on?" By I don't want to name no artists or anything like that because I don't want to get no flags on us. So I put Chicken Fried on. Chicken Fried has that little polka beat, and boom, people came up and started dancing with her. So I just kept on relooping that song. That was it. I'm like, I got people dancing. She's making money, because they come up, they throw 5, 10, 50, $1, whatever, into the babushka. People relate that dance to one song only, the Polish bridal dance. And this area is tough on it because I don't care, you're Russian, Polish, Irish, Italian, everybody loves the Polish bridal dance. They love that as much as the chicken dance. So I tell every bride and groom, if you don't like polkas, that's fine. If you're going to do the Polish bridal dance, try to keep it to the Polish bridal dance and just suck it up for those couple minutes because you're gonna make money on this part here, you know.
All right, you finish?
Yep, I know. I'm ready. I'm sorry. I had a rough day.
Now I gotta go back and change the title of our video. I need everybody to look at this pen right here. I'm going to pretend that this is the Men in Black pen. Those that came in at the beginning, forget that I said that this episode was all about building crates. This is going to be changed to Story Time with DJ Mikey Mike.
I'm just venting tonight. I'm sorry.
Yep, because it's an hour, so we might as well just say what we are going to do tonight, and just do it next week.
Okay.
But there is a lot of good points that was made while you were talking, and also to bring it full circle, especially those that watch each one of our shows, be it DJ Cool Thing on Monday, Buddy Show, DJ Roundtable on Tuesday, DJ Biz on Wednesday, and our show on Thursday. It just seemed like it's funny how each of our shows are different, but it's connected. Because tonight we talked about making memorable moments and how we create those moments for our guests. And it's almost like the way that you can get your 5-star rating, because that's what we had talked about on the DJ Roundtable this week.
Well, I had to interrupt you here.
Huh?
Buddy, what kind of star am we going to get tonight? Maybe 3.5? I hope, bud.
Oh, that's because your mic and your video.
Yeah.
So according to your rubrics, we can't get a 5-star.
No,
you blew it for us, Mike.
I just
today I was determined to be great. Even Buddy said my mic sounded nice tonight. I made sure my stuff was tight today, and you had to blow it.
I don't know what happened. Like I said, all day today, our TV freezing up, internet was staggering, and I'm like, please let it be good all night tonight. But unfortunately, it is what it is. We can't. We can still get a 5-star review because that wasn't our problem.
I guess you're trying to change the goalpost now.
According
to because remember you gave Buddy a hard time on Tuesday.
Well,
him and Matt.
That was his show. This is our show, so we can make our own rules here.
But let me get to Kevin, because Kevin made some good points.
Yes.
He also said that DJ owners were asked if you mix, and it just so happened that Brian Red did a video just before we went live about do you mix or not. Because they want to figure out what kind of DJ are you. Are you a quick mixer, or do you fade in, fade out? Because are you a club mixer?
I'm not a club mixer. There's times I will fade in, fade out, and quick mixing. Again, this area is so, I don't want to say backwards, but they are used to a DJ playing a song from point A to point Z. And they don't care if there's dead air in between. It's just like a normal for them. One thing I will not allow is dead air. When I know, I have a list in front of me, and I always tell the bride and groom, give me 10 songs that you want to hear. So I know I want to fit them in, and I do get them in. Then I'm getting requests throughout the course of the night. And what I do then is I start quick mixing. But it's not, just boom, 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 boom. I let the people enjoy the song for a little bit, and then I quick mix out, bring the other track right in. And then, again, boom, 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 out. Boom, 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 back in. Boom, 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 out. Boom. I want to keep that vibe. I want to keep the dance floor filled for the rest of the night. It's quick mixing has its time and place. During cocktail hour, what I usually do during cocktail hour, sometimes I will build my own pre-mix of a lot of yacht rock music. or again, if the bride and groom give me a bunch of slow songs, question: do you want all these slow songs played today? Well, no, we're thinking if you throw them on during cocktail hour. I'm like, okay, great. So I have DJ Studio. I will build a 45 minute to 45 minutes. Well, no, I can't say 45 minute. At least a 52-minute mix there, because if cocktail hour starts at 5, by quarter, I'm setting up the couples to be introduced. All the bridesmaids, the ring bearer, parents, everything. So that's the music is still on. By the time I get back to my DJ booth, the music is just about ending, and I'll just slowly fade that out, and then I'll start the introductions. Dinner hour, I like to mix that sometimes, and then sometimes I like to just throw. I have about 4 different dinner mixes that I use that I made, and I'll throw them on. Each event's different because there's times that I went and I did weddings that were at these exclusive places, and you're a vendor. You cannot sit and eat with the guest. You're not part of the guest list. You're a worker here. So they take you to another room in the facility. The one facility that I was at, the wedding reception was on, let's say, the 5th floor. Well, the vendors had to go eat on the 3rd floor. The one wedding, again, we're all on the same floor, but we had to go towards the front of the building, and everything's happening back there. You could hear people laughing. Next thing you know, the photographers are running to catch what's going on. But by the time they got back there, that funny thing was over. So they're the bride and groom. I think then you shortchange them because something happened that was funny, and the photographers couldn't catch that funny moment for them. Somebody probably did catch them on their phone and stuff, so at least they caught it. But again, I think I don't care how exclusive of a venue it is. Let the vendors be there. Let them sit and eat. I sit back behind my station. I'm not sitting there on the side of my station dropping food on the floor. I'm very discreet about it. And when I'm done eating, I get up, I take my plate right over to one of the waiters or waitresses. They take it away. I don't leave nothing laying there. Maybe they had some problems with other vendors coming in doing that. But if they see that, go over to the vendor and say, listen, hey, you finish your plate. You could have been kind enough to take it up to a waiter or waitress. So I again, it depends on the event. I want to say not 9 times, at least 7 times out of 10, it's fade in, fade out, but it's not waiting till the song's almost over. If you have a long outro, I'm not playing that long outro because it's also very repetitive. I'm mixing out of that before we even get to the same words being repeated a 3rd time. Like the 2nd time, that's it. I'm out of the song. Boom.
Yeah, I do a combination of a little bit of everything. I'm not like I do like little baby scratches. That's the most I'll do, or loops. But like the event that I had this Saturday, it was pretty much a 6-hour event, but it didn't have those different elements. It's almost like a club. So I basically played music from the time the doors open until the end of the night. So therefore, I played the songs longer than I normally would, just so I can stretch that 6 hours out. But if I'm doing like my middle school dances, where they only get 40 minutes or maybe 90 minutes, 2 periods, then I might quick mix, especially towards the end. They request songs to try to get their little songs in. So I'll do a quick mix in and out, and basically I do the quick mix in and out because a lot of songs that they want to request is not a school, it's not school appropriate.
There are certain songs that you really can't. Well, you can quick mix out of them, But most of the time, if you do, you're gonna get such a dirty look from the guest and maybe from the bride and groom, and it's gonna be like, "Uh-oh, I made a mistake." You know, there goes my 5-star review.
Hmm.
But it's just like the Cupid Shuffle. One song I did edit it. Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. We got Bill Rizzuto making the little speech about the Yankee player about to round in first, round second, round third, go score home, blah blah blah. I edited that part out, and the bride and groom came up and requested Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. I'm like, okay, so I'll put it on, and that part was edited out, and they came up to me and said, Mike, what happened? What happened to the scooter speaking? I'm like, well, I edited that part out because it's a long song. Well, we want to hear that. I said, okay, you want me to just play that one section? I'll do that. That's no problem. No, play the song over. I'm like, you just listened to 7 minutes worth of Meatloaf. You want another 8.5 minutes worth of Meatloaf? Yeah. I'm like, okay, no problem. Here you go. I threw it back up with them. It just they're the ones for paying me. If it was mom and dad come up and asking, no, I'd be like, listen, I'll get it back on for you. When the bride and groom ask you, you have to, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir.
All right, let me get to the chat real quick because there was a lot of comments.
I noticed DJ Kevin, he mentioned about free finance, interest-free financing. Yes, ZZ Sounds, great company, which I deal with 90% of the time, or 98% of the time. They offer you free financing, zero down, anything. You live in Ohio, I live in Pennsylvania. If you order today being Thursday, so say if you ordered Monday, you would have your gear by Wednesday.
Mm.
I ordered on Monday, I would have it by Tuesday because it's right out here in New Jersey. So all they do is put my gear, comes on 8084, and it's right down here to me. Your gear would go all right out on Interstate 80, right across Pennsylvania over to Ohio, and boom, you have your gear in 2 days. So they are great to work with.
Is
Very
ZZ
good.
Sounds? I know one of them that you really don't have to have a credit card. Like,
Yeah, ZZ Sounds, no credit check, no nothing.
okay, because I know like Sweetwater, they offer those kind of deals, but you have to have you gotta have their like credit card kind of thing. It's not like like with I guess it's a Formity or something, because you can use a Formity to buy stuff like from Amazon or online stores like Guitar Center that does pretty much the same thing, and they bill you like whatever your plan is, 3 months or 6 months or 12 or 36 months, same. No, I'm not going to
Yes,
say same as cash. They just divide it up evenly.
yes, but ZZ Sounds, they don't. There's no background, not background check, no credit check, no nothing. They say this is the price of whatever purchase you're buying, and it will be either 12 months, 18 months. Like if it's only $200 worth of stuff, it might be only 6 months that they'll break it down to. If it's anywhere from 500 and up to say 1500, it might be 12, or you may have the option to go to 18 months. So, I mean, if you want to check them out, they have a lot of great gear there. And once you start buying off them, you get to know them, make them, if you see a piece of equipment you really want, and hey, guys, I bought basically all my equipment off you. Anyway, give me a little break on this. And they gave me a break on my Flex 10. I'm not gonna lie about it. I couldn't pass up the deal.
Yep. Kevin also mentioned something about he'll love to see a wall comparison of uplights like they did at Harvest of Sound. I think the closest I've seen something like that was I think DJ Fire and Mike James had did something like that before.
Yes, yes. I am not. Um, in all honesty, I have all the uplights here, and I could upsell them, no problem. And they do look great when you walk in the venue. But after you sit down and eat, Do you really notice the uplighting? I don't. I've been to thousands of weddings. Walked in, oh yeah, uplighting looks nice. Once I sit down and eat, and I go up to get a beer at the bar, and then do a little bit of dance as much as I can do. I'm not looking at the uplighting. I just not for me. I mean, if that was the only lighting in the room, like Brian S. Red does, I mean, he does a spectacular job with his eight cans. They're amazing. The chroma cannons, they are a great light, but you can't compare them to the 8 glass. I'm sorry, Rick, don't get mad at me.
But I would have to say, I think it was Buddy. I think after it was like the after show of the round table, I think he showed a video. I did like the fact he has his uplighting going around the room, but when it's time to dance, he had the lights going to the music. So I thought that added ambiance, cool ambiance. So it just wasn't like a wash. It was like it was part of his presentation. So that I did like.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what I'll do with mine with the chroma cannons, is I'll have them just go into the music beat. So this way it's giving, sometimes they stay right in cue with each other. Sometimes they might be off a little bit, but again, it's, to me, it's giving it a great atmosphere, because you're having the lights going up the wall, they're reflecting off the ceiling. And once we reflect it off the ceiling, it's coming back down onto the venue, onto the dance floor, or wherever you have the uplight set up at. Those lights are being cast back down onto the guest, whoever, So it does make a great, great for pictures, especially if whoever's there, it might be grandmother with a cell phone, and she takes a picture of her granddaughter to the bride, and the picture comes out great. So it's better to have little spots on the dress and stuff like that.
Right. So how do you control your lights? Do you have it sound activated, or do you DMX each one, or is it one of those ones where it's a built-in wireless kind of lights, or how do you do yours?
All the lights came with a remote control, and a good friend of mine, he's going to teach me, because I have the control one, and he's going to teach me how to use the control one. I can't think of his name. Dwayne, do you know his name?
Which one?
He's going to teach me the control one, how to DMX. Remember we talked about it?
Oh, because you said a friend, you threw me off, because I was going to say, why don't you just bring it here and we can do it together?
That's what I'm saying. My friend, Dwayne, you're my friend.
Okay, because you threw me off. I was like, now who is he talking to? Yep. So let's get, because I was trying to get out. You're like our preacher, or especially guest preachers. The ones that get up there and say, I'm not going to be long. I'm just going to keep you for a little bit. And then we end up being there for an hour or two afterwards.
I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
DJ Cool Thing said, I love Sauvé. I enjoy my Wash Effects 2s. They are super bright. Yes, they are. That's why I have to point mines up. Because sometimes I forget. I'll turn around and look right in there, and then I just see spots.
Yeah, they're blinding.
Mm-hmm. They light up an entire dance floor. And let me see.
And more.
Yep. I also love my Rockville Rock Par 50s.
Yep.
And then he says
the Par 60s.
Yep. And then he says, you and him are big fans of Newmark when it comes to controllers.
Yes.
And let me see, Kevin. Oh, he had brought up a good point, because some companies don't like competition. If you work for them, then you need to represent them. You have to lose your identity. So you can't self-promote when you're on the job from doing a gig from the company. So he makes a good point. So when you're thinking about joining a multi-op, that's something that you have to ask them and consider. And
I had a good friend of mine go through a nightmare situation. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, because that'd be another hour there.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I do jobs, I have to fill in for like a company or representing another person. Now, that's a buddy had brought up again. He had mentioned something about signs on your laptop and self promotion. Now, it's those kind of gigs. I definitely don't try to put me sci-fi or anything that seems like it's in competition or undermining the person I'm working for. So I will show them that respect in that regards.
Well, I'll get a real quick point. Willie, right?
Hmm.
He great DJ. He lives up in the Poconos. I live down here in Wilkes-Barre. And if I'm booked, I'll pass the gig on to him. And now me and him are talking about maybe joining forces together. So we could, if he doesn't have a gig and I want to take a little break from it because say my back is killing me, I can pass the gig over to him. Do I want something for it? No. I want us to be equal. I want us to have I know he's a great DJ. That's the thing. And I know he's not going to do a bad job. He's going to do a great job. There are a lot of DJs. It's not like brain surgeons. There's only a handful of them. DJs, there's an abundance of them. So you got to watch who you pass gigs on to. Same with multi-ups. I mean, some multi-ups just hire anybody. Some are very selective who they hire.
Right. And Cool Thing has said you both sounded and looked awesome tonight. Thank you, Cool Thing.
Thank you, Cool Thing.
And he says he fades in and out all the time.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mike wants you to strive to get better. So I guess he's referred, huh? Yeah, that goes back to being so hard about giving out 5-star reviews.
Well, I do give a couple of them up. They really, really have to be good. I mean, it can't be no flaws at all. I mean, the DJ can't be sitting. He has to be standing all night. He really has to be on top of his game. There's a possibility they may get a 5-star. Just I want him on the microphone a lot. He has to know his place. He's not the head of the spotlight of the event. It's the graduate. It's the couple. They're the ones who are supposed to glow that night, not the DJ. I hate these DJs that have lights all around them and they're on the microphone. Listen, shut up, play the music. They don't want to hear you talk. End of story. I'm being quiet now.
Okay. And then he went on to say, if you reach the top 5-star, are you then coasting and not striving to get better?
Now, a very good friend of mine and also one of my professors at college when I went to school for commercial art, his philosophy was and is still to today. He's in his early 90s now, and he's still doing commercial art. And he said, if you ever get to the point, whatever career you do, at that time I was into art. I still love art, but neuropathy in my fingers, I can't do it anymore. But the thing is, if you got to the point that you say, well, hey, I know everything about it, I'm doing the best at this. I'm the best pen and ink artist in the area. His thing was, if you're the best, you think you're the best, drop the pen or drop the paintbrush and move on to something else. So if you think you're the best DJ, smash the hard drive, sell the computer, burn the speakers, move on to something else, because nobody's ever the best. The thing is, you got to keep learning. I don't care what age you are, a young DJ, an old DJ, whatever age you are, keep learning. Don't say, well, hey, you look at Rick Webb, he's in his 20s, Joe Bunn, Nick Spinelli, Aaron Strine. I mean, you got all these DJs out there. They have a worth of knowledge. But the one I really look up to, two of them actually, I look up to Jay Brennan. I look up to Brian S. Red, Brian mostly, Jay too, John Young, um, Dan Carpenter, all those guys that are on DJing TV. They have a world of knowledge. And you know, they're sharing their knowledge, and it's making me a better DJ. And our show here tonight, we're sharing our knowledge. I'm basically whatever, but I'm sharing my knowledge of what I do at a gig, and that's what they do for their knowledge. They're not charging for it. They're not saying, "Hey, listen, give me a 5-star review because I did a great job tonight." Give me a review. I don't care if it's good or bad. It's a review. If I did I might think I did a great job, and they give me a 2-star review. So be it. I mean, that's okay. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk. I'm gonna accept that 2-star review. I just had an incident that a lady booked me for a gig, and 3 days later she decided to cancel. And my contract says no refund on the retainer fee. She called me back. She's like, "I can't believe you're doing this to me." I said, "What do you mean?" And the thing is, the lady comes from a very wealthy family. She is very wealthy to herself. And she goes, "I talked to other DJs, and they don't have no retainer fees." I said, "Listen, you're barking up the wrong tree here. That is in the contract. You have the contract with you?" She said, "Yes." I said, "All right, page 2, paragraph 1. I said, "Read it." She read it. I said, "Look at the bottom of the page. Did you initial it and date it?" "Yeah." So, all right, last page. Read the last couple sentences. And I didn't put it in a super fine font like a 3 or 4-point font. It's an 8-point font or a 7-point font. And it says that you have read this contract and that you understand every part of this contract. You signed it, dated, also initialed and dated each page, so you know what and you understand what is in this contract. So, she told me she's going to give me a 1-star review. I said, "That's fine. I'm happy." She goes, "You're happy about that?" I said, "Yeah, because, once you give me that 1-star review, I have a contract. It's already scanned. As soon as I book somebody, I scan it, I put it in the folder on my computer." I said, "So I'm going to reply back to your 1-star review and your comment with the copy of your contract, which you signed, dated, initialed. And then I'm going to highlight that area where it says no refund." Click, she hung up the phone on me. I haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, my take on the 5-star reviews, this is just like when you go and apply for a job, a regular 9-to-5 job, day job, the company might ask for a resume. And to me, since when you talk to clients don't ask for your resume. So to me, the Google reviews, a review period about your job, it's like a resume that the
Yes.
client, your client for your next event would use, like a resume that a company would use. So that's how I look at the 5-star reviews, and that's why. To me, I never chased the 5-star. I never chased a review until I trying to go from being a part-time DJ to a full-time DJ, where I'm starting to hear that people really do look at your reviews. And it's not just about giving 5 stars. So one person gave me 5 stars, but didn't write anything under it. And it would have been helpful if she had a wrote, that was the one, it's 11:30, you called me at 11:30, and your party's at 2 o'clock. And I was still in the bed, but I jumped out of bed, ran and did your gig, nailed it. And I'm like, you could at least put that in the 5-star review. It didn't have to be long. It said he's dependable. I can call him when I need help. Because everybody else have. But not only just the 5 stars is what you want to get, but also it's important in what people put under there, because it's like a snapshot of what you do, because people are not there at your event, so they can pretty much read a summary or a synopsis of what kind of person, what kind of work ethic that you have and will bring to the event. So that's how I look at the reviews. And then also, I forgot to mention, Sean with the DJ Biz School had a good one this week a good episode to check out, and I had posted it in our Facebook group page, because he also tells you how to get the reviews and how to set it up online so you can get noticed. And the Cue It Up code for this week was basically, if a good, how did it go? Something about a good DJ is not the best DJ. It's the ones that got reviews or something along that lines. Basically, you're not, if they can't find you, you really don't exist. So that's what the whole point was, and that's what his video was. And I thought it was very good and helpful. So if you get a chance to watch his video, make sure you check his out.
I do believe in reviews, and I do believe they are good. But again, I don't chase them. I don't ask the couples to give me a review. In my contract, it says, I appreciate a review. And I'm not saying a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, whatever. A comment in the review. I don't ask them, but it is my contract. Again, they initial that page, so that means they read it and understood it. Like you said, it's a reflection of you. It's like your resume, the review page. Also, again, like I just keep reverting back to this area where I live in northeastern Pennsylvania. People like get a website, get this, get that, Majority of people don't look at websites here. They're Facebook, they're old school there. The younger generation's Instagram. So if you just post pictures and videos on there, and I know it's hard with Facebook, you have to do a little voiceover so they don't knock it down. But even with the voiceover, they could see the crowd reacting to you. They could see how they're dancing. They could see that they're having a good time. Somebody may take some video of you and post it on their Facebook page, how you're being sociable to the guest. Somebody may come up to ask for a review, ask for a song request, and you're being very sociable to them. That means the world to me. It's like, I didn't know you took my picture. I didn't know you had a video of me. That was a great thing. Thank you so much. That was better than a 5-star review. Because they tagged me. It's on their Facebook page, and it's on my Facebook page, and then I share it too. So it's a lot of fun. It's DJing is hard, but DJing should be fun. And don't get yourself burnt out. Make it fun. Make your clients happy. Put a smile on their face, because, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a very cruel and wild world. So if you could have our guests escape from this reality, this cruel world for 4, 5, 6 hours, do it. And those 5-star reviews are going to come. But the thing is, people are going to say, man, he did a great job. Somebody might be sitting at a bar and say, man, I'm looking for a DJ. My daughter's Sweet 16 is coming up, or my brother's getting married, whatever. And, oh, yeah, DJ Mikey, or DJ Hitman, or DJ Cool Thing, or DJ Buddy, So it's like that word of mouth gets around so quick. And like we're talking on the round table about how bad news travels so quick. It's like dropping a match in a hayfield, dry hayfield. Poof, smoke. It burnt up the whole field. But if you do something really good, it's like dropping a match on a wet grass. It slowly dies out, and maybe if it hits a little piece of dry grass, it might pick back up and travel a little further. Good things take a long time to get to their destination. Bad things, you do something bad, by tomorrow, people know about it. But before the end of the night, they know about it. So make sure you're always on the top of your game. Don't make a fool out of yourself. Because if you make a fool out of yourself, you're making a fool out of the people who hired you for that event.
All right, going down the list. I hate this new Chromebook because it's so sensitive. I know Kevin has said something about static light doing dancing is boring, and then Buddy said true, Kevin. And then I guess going back to his lights, the up lights that I had referred to that Buddy had used in one of his videos, I'm gonna assume he said that was one of his Git logs.
Well, there's one thing about the static lights, and going to Kevin on that part. My first question I ask any client, I don't care, wedding, graduation party, whatever, birthday party, whatever it is. There is one thing that we as DJs should take, this little piece of you should really soak in and mark it down in a notebook or something. When you go to meet with the client, ask the client, does anybody attending your event have, or a family member have, a medical condition such as epilepsy? And if they say, well, oh geez, yeah, Joe, or yeah, my friend Stephanie, or whatever. And then they'll say, why? Well, you want like the club effect. And you're gonna have all these lights, boom, 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 like fireworks going off. That person may have an epileptic seizure. They may fall down. They may break a shoulder, break a neck, break a back, break a leg, whatever. Then we as DJs, we have liability insurance. So hey, guess what? They're going to cash it on us. They're going to cash it on the venue. But they're cashing in. They're going to make some money on us. But guess what? That might, for them, is ruined. And that might, if it's a wedding, the couple's night's ruined. So play it safe. Ask your clients, anybody have any medical conditions? They say yes. They ask why. You tell them why. And you say, okay, listen, when we know they left the event, we could put those lights on and do whatever you want, especially the lights that me and Cool Thing have. And you have the same ones, Dwayne. You could get them dancing all over the place. They're great lights. They could be static. They could be fading in and out. You can go to the music with them. But if somebody has a medical condition, have them fading out very soft, back and forth. It's not going to cause no medical problems with that person.
Yeah, I gotta get the gravity stand since I got the column array speakers, so I can basically put them on top of that. Because when I use the EVs and I have to use the tripod, that's the when I break out the watch effects.
Yeah.
And then going down the list, lumens is bull to figure out. That's what Kevin said. And he said he just want to see it on the wall to compare the lights, the different lights. Because there's some lights that have like a wash and a wide beam. And there's like the ones that you have. I like the distinct, you can actually see the lines. And when you put them like side by side with the lines intersect each other.
Crossover, yes.
Yeah.
Well, the chroma cannons and even the ape labs, they will cross over, like the chroma cannons will cross over like the ape labs. But also you adjust the head on that. You could have it a wide beam or you could have a very narrow beam. So it's up to what your client wants and what you want, what type of effect you want for that night.
Oh, so it got one of those twisty things at the top, the lens?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Rick has a great video about that. And he has 3 chroma cannons set up. And the one in the middle, he puts down to a very narrow beam. The one on the end has a little bit wider beam, and the one on this end has a real wide beam. And then there is a little flare, but even the Ape Labs have them too. So
okay. And then let me see. Somebody had said something about musician friends. I lost where that was, but yeah, that's the other one I was trying to remember.
Yeah, they have a play as you pay to.
Right.
Pay as you play. Yeah.
And then someone said American Musical Supply. That was Sean.
Okay.
And then Cool Thing says he gets his gear from Amazon and Guitar Center. And then Sean says Amazon offers in-house financing on selected items for selected customers. No credit check.
That's good to know, Sean. Thank you.
We said musicians friends from Kevin. Sweetwater will work with you on prices. They are now the biggest seller of gear. They outsell Guitar Center, says Buddy.
Yes, they do. You're right, bud.
And then Cool Thing went on to say, true that, Mike. I've been DJing for 7 years and I'm still learning new skills. But it's tough being an autistic DJ and not knowing what other people will think of me as a DJ. Sometimes we seem to focus more on things that really doesn't matter, or on people that doesn't matter to what we're trying to do.
Yes.
So I would say just spend less time focusing on the one or two that want to, talk bad about you, and focus on those that support you, because it's more supporters than it is with the haters.
I mean, Hunter, look at that young lady who's in a wheelchair. She's going to be a dentist. She took a disability that she can't walk, but she's still going to be a dentist. So don't let these haters get you down. Rise above them. And I know, Hunter, I tell you a 1,000 times, smile, kill them with kindness. And that eats up your competition and the people that hate you. That eats them up more and more inside than anything. So you smile at them and hey, okay, thank you, man. Just be cool thing. That's what your name is. So be cool to them.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes on to say, I personally don't rely on reviews, but word of mouth, like my clients telling their friends and family about me as a DJ. That's how and then he says that's how I get recommended as a DJ. But then Sean goes on to say, word of mouth doesn't come close to good SEO and great reviews, which is true, because even with word of mouth, people still go and will look you up. And if you don't have the things to kind of like back it up, they still might have that uneasiness with them, and you may not get that call to do a consultation with them. And then when you do the consultation with them, instead of selling your service, you almost got to sell yourself to ensure that you're the person that can do their event, because you don't have the preceding reviews and the other things that would kind of like ease their stress with hiring you.
I'll tell you, it's funny because, like I always said, I don't care about reviews. I really, honestly, I don't. If I get a review, great. If I don't, fine, so be it. But I get a lot of calls from people in Philadelphia, Allentown, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I'm like, how did you find me? Google. I go, oh, the first time I got a call from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I mean, gated community. I'm like, how did you find me? Oh, on Google. I said, oh, I'm listed on Google. Oh yeah, man, you got like, I don't know how many 5-star reviews, and you're gonna fit perfect into our wedding. They were willing to pay me up front, and this is like 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, all right, you don't have to pay me up front, but I'll say in my contract and just send me the deposit back. We'll go from there. But I was like, I was like, got some reviews, this and that. I'm like, wow, this is great. So when I get a call from out of town, I still do ask them, how did you hear from me? Because I do so many weddings, and sometimes there's guests from out of town, and they may refer me to something. I don't know, but 9 times out of 10, it's through Google. And here's the guy saying, I don't care about reviews, right?
All right, and then it says, let's see. All right, Sean says, Alan Berg talked on his podcast how people would trust a review online from a stranger just as much or more as a recommendation from somebody they personally know. That's true. I kind of like agree with that too.
Because you got some DJs out there that can't create their own email addresses, Google accounts, this and that, and they give themselves reviews. I've seen that happen many a times. I've seen DJs that come from very big families. They have everybody in their family giving them 5-star reviews, and okay, they don't have the same last name, so you're not really putting them two and two together. And my wife's family, she has a very, very big family. I forget, I think I have like 50 something nieces and nephews. If I just got reviews from them, I'd be doing good, you know? And it's just, you got to watch because I mean, I know the one DJ, he has over 200 Gmail accounts and he gives himself reviews. I know person, you know, so it's like, why would he do something like that? You know, just, that's too fake for me, you know?
And Cool Thing says he disagrees with with that, big time disagree. And I was just asking him what specifically, since we had kind of like talked about different things, so we can address it. If you were in my shoes, but he talking personally. I don't want to put their personal stuff up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that to each his own. Because if you can still get the gigs without the reviews, then that's great. But because that's less work, extra work that you have to do to promote yourself. So if you're in that kind of boat, then I would say keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're not in, if the market is tight, I would say you might want to look at it. But if you're in a market where it's not like an overflow or DJs where you have to try to, it's like a, was it crab in the barrel where everybody's trying to pull everybody down to get to the top, then
Yes.
I would say,
Yeah.
you don't have to really go out your way for the reviews, but you still have to make sure that your social media presence is tight though, so people can see you in action and still find you. Because if you're not online, if you don't have a business profile or the reviews, then you got to have some kind of presence so people can find you.
Yes.
And they'll open up more doors for you. So if you're getting a lot of opportunity not doing the reviews, just think if you were to do the reviews or do the little extra, how many more doors will open up for you. So just think about that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just giving you something to think about.
It depends on your demographics. Like I said, northeastern Pennsylvania, it's again, it's not backwards, but they rely on Facebook. People my age and older, even younger people, and then you got the other younger people that rely on Instagram. So that's their two platforms that they really, really look at a lot. They don't look for websites. You know, I tell a client, oh yeah, you check out my website. No, but I haven't updated in a long time. But I know DJs that do update their websites continuously, and they're like, well, we're not having nobody view our website. I'm like, well, this area they're not up on that. I mean, a lot of the people don't even know how to click the power button on the computer. So it's like, how are they going to get to a website? You know?
Yeah, or make sure you tell them to check Sean's video out on Wednesdays. Yeah. He'll tell you how to upgrade and update your website to get seen. Because it's something real. It's like little simple things that you think you should know right off the top of your head, but he points out some things that seems like it's obvious, but we don't think about it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because we get so wrapped up in what we're doing that we forget about this. We start caring about more of what we need to do for the client. That's just like the client. Like I'm going to go back to a wedding couple. They get so wrapped up in planning their wedding, or even say a birthday party. They get so planned up and planning the birthday party. They forget these other little things like say, oh geez, say there's a sweet 16. Oh my god, I forgot to get candy bags for the kids to take candy home with them. So and so had it at their sweet 16 party. Now I feel like a fool because I didn't get them. Now if they had a good DJ, hey, did you get candy bags or what kind of gifts are you giving the kids to take home with them? I always ask every client, are you giving the centerpieces away for like a wedding? Or people are having a sweet 16 for their daughter. Do you have candy? Are you putting bags out? Whatever. Oh my God, Mike, thanks for reminding me, And it's a day of the party. So then they're sending their husband to Walmart or to Wegmans to buy tons of candy and baggies. They don't care. Get Ziploc bags. They don't care. The kids will just put it in there. So again, they get wrapped up in so much stuff. Our clients do. Then we do. We get wrapped up in their stuff because we're thinking for them. Then we forget about what we should be doing for ourselves. And then he's making some great points there for us. He's pointing out that what we should know already,
Mm-hmm. But it's getting kind of late again. We're getting ready to go on our second hour, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. For those
Buddy's paying us tonight, right?
Huh?
Dwayne, is Buddy paying us tonight? Buddy, send me some Chicago pizza.
And
I'll pay for the shipping.
Yeah, I was going to say, but those that don't have reviews and all that and want the word of mouth, then make sure you join our Facebook group, the Cue It Up Facebook group page, and then we can also highlight and push your put the word out on your business. Just like my friend, who I took his line dance classes last year, and if you're in the Cleveland area and you're near the Lakeshore area in Cleveland at the Gatewood Home Share, which is located at 532 East 185th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. My friend Delonzo Kurgis hosts a line dance class that he leads every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. And it starts this Tuesday, May 6th. And there's a $5 cover charge. And they serve refreshments during the session as well. So he teaches the old throwback classic line dances, and then he teaches the new line dances. And when we say line dances, we're talking about the urban line dances, not the country line dances. Yeah, but who knows? If you go and ask him, he might know them. So
they are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this area is. I keep referring back to that same word, but country's made a big comeback, and there's so many people in the country music around here. It's unbelievable. Country music, polka music. I mean, they're into everything, but country music and polka music, it's just I can walk out of one. I don't go to too many bars. I go to a VFW, a PAV. You walk out of one, they have a country station on or a country music on their jukebox. You walk into the next, the PAV down the street. It might be the same song. It's like, oh, I just left the VFW. They had the song on. They have it on down here, But to the people that have their Facebook account, I mean, I know a lot of them have it that it's private. That's great. I mean, I know there's stuff that about the general public to see. That's a good thing for you, for the safety of your family or whoever. But if you do, you could create a business page that you can make public, but only post stuff on there about your business. Don't post nothing on there about your family photos, anything, just your business. And let that be public. So people then could see you, see what you're doing. And then if you join our Facebook page, we could share your stuff. I mean, I have close to 3,000 followers on my Facebook page. On my one Facebook page, I think I have 3 Facebook pages. But it's the more you spread the wealth, the better you're going to become. I'm up here in Northeastern PA. Dwayne's in Ohio. Buddy's in Chicago. I mean, I share Buddy stuff. I share Dwayne stuff. I share Brian S. Red. I'm always sharing his stuff. It's just a thing. You keep sharing this stuff, and you know what? somebody from Ohio might move to my area, or somebody from my area might move to where Dwayne's living, or move down to where Hunter's at, or may move out to Chicago. And I say, well, geez, Mike said, check out TBM Productions. He mentions them a lot. He mentions the Hitman. He mentions Hunter. He mentions DJK Productions. I mean, we share each other's stuff, and believe me, that travels a long way, and it will help each and every one of us. I'm not looking for the help, neither is Dwayne. We're here to help you guys, and you guys will be helping us too by sharing our stuff too.
All right, speaking about that, let's shout out our new members.
Put my glasses on for this one.
Yep, let's see. New members to the Facebook group page is, we have Diego.
Buddy puking? Wait, excuse me. What's Buddy puking about?
Huh?
Buddy, he put a puke comment up there.
Oh, something talking about Miracle Whip and hot dogs and pizzas.
Oh yeah, Miracle Whip on a hot dog is great, buddy. I just want some Chicago pizza.
Okay, we got Diego, aka DJ Pretty Boy from Los Rockets Productions, and they also have a podcast that they do on Thursdays. So you can catch both of ours on Thursday. You can actually hop backwards and forth, and being that it seemed like we go 2 hours now, we went from it was supposed to have been 30 minutes. Then we went to an hour and 10. Then we crept to an hour and 20. Now we coming into 2 hours. So you can almost catch both our podcasts. But theirs is on Thursdays at 9 o'clock. And we have Tom. That's also, he goes by the name DJ Tom from Tom Rude Entertainment. And a Cleveland DJ, Craig. And he goes by the name DJ Craig D. I just met him yesterday, actually. So I would like to welcome our new members.
Same here.
Let's give them a round of applause. And if you haven't joined our Facebook page yet, just go to Facebook, type in Cue It Up. And there will be two profiles, a private one and a public one. And it's really no difference. It's just the public one is easier for me to share certain kind of posts and polls.
Yes.
And that if you want to type up the long name, there's the long URL code or link. Also, you can follow me on all my social media at Hitman DDub. And if you want me to give you a personal shout out or highlight your business, don't forget to drop me a DM. You can do it within the Cue It Up Facebook page, or if you're watching this video, you can message me in the comment section of this video, or follow us on our social media and DM us there. What about you, Mike?
You can follow me on Facebook, DJ Mikey Mike. I'm on Instagram, DJ Mikey Mike, and also DJ Mikey Mike 45. I also have my website on Wix. It's djmikeymike.wix.djmikeymike. I think it's .com or whatever. I forget, .wix. Again, I haven't been there probably in about 3-4 years, so I have to get there and get a bunch of stuff updated. I do have some stuff I want to pull down from on there, which is one of my contracts. It's an old contract, so I got to get that down. But I appreciate guys following us here on YouTube. We're trying to share our knowledge. If you have questions for us, please hit us up. Doesn't have to be tonight. It could be tomorrow. You may think of it over the weekend. Drop it in here. We're here to answer questions. We may have a question for one of you guys. That's like I'm asking Buddy for pizza from Chicago. Buddy, yeah, help me out here, buddy. But it's that's the thing. We're here to share our knowledge, and also you share your knowledge with us, because maybe something we're overlooking, and it's going to be a good thing that you shared something with us, and we'll say, Oh man, and you share it with us. We're gonna thank you for it and spread the word. And give us a 5-star review tonight, will you? That's why I kept you for 2 hours.
Before we head on out, I don't know what to call our little group, but for right now, in fact, I'll send a poll out or a question, and let's see if they can come up with a name of our little network. But for right now, I'm gonna call it the DJ Collective Network, where it's one culture but with many voices. So make sure on Monday at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, for every DJ chasing dreams, no matter the odds, it's your time to spend with DJ Cool Thing. Then on Tuesdays at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, join Buddy and his weekly guest panel of DJs for unfiltered conversations that matter. It's the DJ Roundtable with Buddy from TBM Productions. Real DJs, real stories, real lessons, all at the round table. And then on Wednesdays at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, it's the DJ Biz School with Sean. It's not just about spinning tracks, it's about spinning success. Learn the business side of DJing, branding, marketing, SEOs, and strategy. And then join us here to wrap everything up on Thursdays at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube for the Cue It Up DJ podcast with me, the Hitman DDub, and DJ Mikey Mike. It's not just about talk. Well, tonight it was. It's real tools for real DJs of all skill levels. First takes, live challenges, and pro insights on everything in between. So don't miss a beat. Like, subscribe, and share each episode and support the movement. It's the DJ Collective Network where DJs grow together. And each one of these shows have their own Facebook group page. Make sure you join those as well. You'll find a lot of extra information on their websites that you may not see in their video.
Thank you all for being here tonight. And thank you for telling us that we had a great show. We enjoyed each and every one of the comments. Thank you again. I don't know who was talking so much tonight.
You must have took a nap before the show.
No, I didn't. That's a problem. I think I'm just exhausted.
Mm-hmm. And I usually have a fade out message right now, but since we got off topic, I'll just leave this for everyone to kind of like think of. Like at a teacher's meeting, a lot of times our principal would say it's not about the people, your students would not remember everything you taught them or every rule or whatnot. They won't remember the specifics, but they will remember how you made them feel. So as DJs, they may not remember what kind of speakers you have or your equipment or this, that, or all the details that we worry about. In the end, it's all about the way that you made them feel at the event. So if you can make the event memorable, it'll go a long ways. And then, therefore, you don't have to beg for again, I guess this week was all about 5-star reviews. You'll get your 5-star reviews and your good word of mouth.
Four. I went 4.
I'm shooting for 5. Okay.
Right.
With that said, I'm glad everyone stuck around. That's those that's still with us. Thank you for sticking around.
Thank you guys.
Remember, remember before you take the time to spin, you gotta first cue it up. Take care. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And make sure you go out there and crush those gigs this weekend. All right, see y'all next week.
I'ma rise like the sun while the world still sleeps. Scouring the sights looking for new leads. Marathon gigs with no in between. Your worth is from a rear view they seen. They wanna party, but I'm battling fatigue. Chasing passion while my mental is still out on leave. It's an everyday hustle, so respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Cue up the pressure. DJs dwell. Clubbing is a struggle like it's all I've got. Set it up, break it down, travel to the next spot. Ambitions, the engine stay sharp like a tool. Revving through my gigs, power drinks is fuel. It's an everyday hustle, we'll respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Pressure, cue up the pressure.